Let's talk about relationships. If you're anything like me, sometimes you might struggle in your relationship. Today, I wanted to talk about two concepts in our relationships. When most people reach out to me for help or support in their relationship, two things usually come up. One is communication, and the other is intimacy. So today I want to talk about intimacy because a lot of times in our relationships and in our lives, people will get something confused with intimacy, intensity. So we will oftentimes, because of our culture, because of how we were raised, because of our families, because of our impulses, we will often choose intensity over intimacy. So first things first, let's get real on, well, what is intimacy? When I ask that question to my clients, a lot of times things will come up is around sex. And certainly sex can be one aspect of intimacy, but intimacy can also be physical touch. Intimacy can also be when we witness our partner's emotions, when we are physically present and emotionally open with our partners. That can also be intimacy when we are engaged and actively listening in our relationships. That can also be a form of intimacy. Intimacy is the ideal in any relationship, not just with our sexual partners or our spouses or our husbands and wives. Intimacy can also be there in our relationship with our friends and with our children. So let's talk about intensity. It feels really, really, really good, intensity in our relationships. And a lot of times people will substitute intensity for intimacy. Intensity is immediate gratification. It is a quick payoff. It sends a rush of good feelings. It can be intoxicating, intensity. But it doesn't last very long, and it's not very satisfying. We want more. We become junkies for intensity in certain relationships. And again, this isn't just sex. Sex could also be an aspect of intensity. But it's intimacy that we long for in our relationships. The problem, though, for most of us, is it takes a while for intimacy to develop. Intimacy can be scary, because a lot of people have fear of rejection and a fear of abandonment. But intimacy, unlike intensity, is very, very satisfying on a deep level. And it's very rewarding. So here's a couple quick tips you could do in your relationships around intimacy. One is to pause. When you're with your friend or your partner, your lover, just pause and just be aware of the moment and be aware of them, the other person. Also to breathe and be more conscious and be more aware in the moment. And that this is an opportunity, intimacy is an opportunity for connection, a deep and satisfying connection. And part of that is also to ask for what you need in these relationships. So you have the ability to get your needs met by solely letting the other person know what you need. Maybe it's a kiss, maybe it's a hand on your back, or rubbing your hand, or to just hold space and just witness whatever it is that you're needing some support with. So thank you for listening to this, and I hope you have more deep, fulfilled, meaningful, intimate relationships in your life. This message was brought to you by Louisville Health and Healing.